Hi, I'm Jerry Macera, Director of Putnam Valley High School Theater Works.
And I'm Jen Cahill, the Assistant Director of Putnam Valley Theater Works.
Hi, and thank you for choosing to view Voices from the Pandemic, a virtual showcase. This is our first dramatic showcase we've had. This is an alternative to our regular fall drama production, which we were unable to do due to the pandemic. However, the concept behind this came about in trying to discover what is it that we could offer to the students to give them a chance to perform and perhaps even compose some of their own creations to be performed. All of the works you're about to see were written by students and are enacted by students. One of them is a musical composition written and performed by a student and then enacted through dance.
And Ashley Lombardo is our dancer who performs that piece.
Liana Diodati is the composer and performer of that one as well. And without further ado, I'd like to say please do enjoy Voices from the Pandemic, a virtual showcase.
What does it mean to live? We're all born with the gift of life, but is everyone truly living, or are some of us just simply surviving and going through all the motions? This is a question I often ask myself. Am I really living my life, or am I just existing and moving through this thing that I can't completely comprehend? I don't think there's really a main goal in life. Well, I guess if you were to put it into simple terms, the main goal of everyone's life really is to be happy. Everyone is constantly trying to get themselves out of a hole that they've made for themselves in their own head. All sadness and really any sort of distress is all in your own head, I believe. I believe it's a choice to be happy or sad. I think in order to make the first step towards happiness, I need to acknowledge the hole I'm in and realize that I'm in it because of myself and nobody else can control that. I try to find solutions to my problems without even knowing what the problem is in the first place. This is obviously easier said than done. I think it takes years and years of life experience to be able to achieve this skill. But I also believe there are plenty of things I can do to improve on this. Mindfulness, gratefulness, empathy, sympathy, and patience are all examples of ways I can improve my overall happiness. Learning how to truly be grateful is huge. Accepting the fact that my life is how it is and I cannot change that with money or clothes or any sort of material things is one of the most important things in life. Right where I am now could be the best moment of my life or the worst moment of my life, and nothing can control that other than me. Meditation is a key to happiness. When I say meditation, I don't necessarily mean sitting in the middle of a silent room with your legs folded into a pretzel quietly humming. I mean simply being aware of where I am in life, accepting the fact that this is who I am. For example, I draw designs to meditate. Is that really meditation? I don't know. I believe it allows me to become one with this thing that we call life. I just let my hand go with the pen as my mind drifts and wanders, and at this moment, I am completely at peace. This relates to life's natural balance. Everything in our world, and even not in our world, but in the non-physical realm, has a balance. Death is life's natural counterpart. Without death, there is no balance. Death is just as much a part of life as life itself is. Obviously, feeling sadness when someone or something dies is something we can't control, but that isn't a bad thing at all. Realizing that feeling sad is perfectly natural and letting it out with tears is a great thing to do. Everyone needs to cry to be happy. So I don't really know what the goal of life. I want to be happy and comfortable wherever I am. And when I'm not, I want to be able to accept that it's only a part of life's balance. I think the best thing I can do is be a positive influence on my surroundings. I always try to compliment strangers and pick up people's garbage because it's such an easy thing to do. It isn't difficult at all to tell someone they look nice today, even if I don't really mean it. 2 seconds out of my day could completely change someone's happiness. So yeah, smile at people, compliment people, ask genuine questions. Instead of responding to good morning with good morning, respond with good morning. How has your day been going so far? Talk to people like people, not robots. Everyone's in this whole thing together, just trying to be happy. So instead of going by the script, live a little, make someone smile, be happy.
Life is about making memories with the people you care about most. Life to me so far has been full of memories, good and bad, with the people who I grew up with, and I wouldn't be the person I am today without every single one of them. Life is about figuring out who you are despite what others think about you, and personally, I've done a lot of that. As of third grade, I can remember most of my life up until that point. I remember one of my good friends, Anthony, always had to have a garbage can near him during class because he constantly had a runny nose. I remember reading Harry Potter and playing Quidditch as Seeker for Ravenclaw. I also remember the shadow play from Mr. Sperling's class. Middle school was some of the happiest years of my life. I made a lot of new friends, foes, and I started to figure out who I was and how to fix the things I didn't like about myself, such as personality, the way I dressed, the way I talked, and my connections became stronger with the people that did the same. I often talk to teachers because people at my age weren't able to have regular conversations without being insensitive or annoying. But as they got older, they started to mature, and I was able to talk to them at a higher level of mutual respect. High school rolled around not too long after that, and oh my, did people get worse. They got less mature, made worse decisions, and made themselves look stupid. Of course, I joined them. I enjoyed being young and stupid, but I realized that life isn't all about being young and stupid. There are real life things that I need to do, not just as an adult, but as a person in general, like applying for college. I started to realize that I needed to take sports more seriously. I realized the penalty of not doing my homework and the harsh consequences that came along with that. Still, though, I make the best of it, and I'm having a lot of fun while I can. Early childhood can be filled with a lot of good, but it can also be filled with some bad. Throughout my life, I realized that through all the fun and friends, there are not only tough responsibilities, but hard decisions and situations too. In 8th grade, I made a decision to cut off my entire friend group and join another because I genuinely wasn't happy with who I was and who I surrounded myself with. Life is a roller coaster, but don't panic. You control your own life, you make your own decisions. Choose what's right for you.
What does it mean to live? Some people think we aren't able to live our lives to the fullest because your life as you grow determines on how good you do in school. If you're not doing good in school, you get told your life isn't going to have a good outcome because then you won't get into a good college, which determines on the type of job you get, which determines on the amount of money you'll make. We have all these rules that we need to follow. What to do, what not to do, how to save your money and live a good life, or how to waste your money on useless things and become homeless or poor. In school, they teach us things like history, math, science, writing essays, things that can help impact our future. And it doesn't make sense to some people. They think it won't help us with their future. These are some things that people might use as an excuse to not live their lives. To live your life means to live in the moment and to not dwell on the things in the past. To not focus on the bad things in the past, but how to make it better. To not focus on how much money you make, but how to make more money. And to not focus on the size of the house you have, or the types of clothes you wear, or how different your life is from someone else's. Focus on the things that you want to change, like how to live your life. I found this quote from a Netflix movie. You know what type of plan never fails? No plan at all. Because when you make a plan, life doesn't work out that way. This quote stood out to me because I feel like it resonated with a lot of people. Before the pandemic happened, I'm sure all of us had a plan on what we wanted to do. Some of us were going to go visit family, go on vacation. Others just wanted to finish their school year off well. Some of us were going to get our driver's license or our permit. None of us knew this was going to happen. It wasn't part of anyone's plan. As a teenager, I would always make plans on how I wanted my life to go or where I wanted to live, but I never figured out how I would actually do it. And then I realized life just goes on. You can't control how or what will happen. You can think about how you want your life to go, but instead of planning it, work for it. Work for what you want. And if you can't, it's okay to try something new. Life doesn't turn out bad just because you can't do something. Your mistakes help you grow and learn. You can and will have your bad days, but the next day, try to make it better. Don't focus on the bad things in the past. Do what you want to do, but don't plan it, because it's not going to turn out the way you want. Just go through life and you'll be fine.
What does it mean to live? The thought that circulates throughout everyone's mind constantly. There are no directions on how to live your life properly. Everyone has their own way of doing things, whether it's weird, right, or wrong, as long as it makes them happy. Some people may have the best life. They could have everything in the world. They can be the wealthiest or the smartest, but not always happy. With happiness comes the best life, right? As long as you're happy, you'll be living your best life. As a young adult, I feel I haven't found the right way to live my life. My life is a repeating circle of school, work, home. Little things between those things, like going to the mall with my friends or hanging out with my boyfriend or spending time with family, feel like the only times I've actually enjoyed life. Breaking the rotation makes me feel alive. I'm not saying I'm not happy. I love my life. That's what I tell myself. I try to convince myself that this is normal. I truly do appreciate everything about my life. I would change things, but my current position makes me feel comfortable. That's the problem. I'm comfortable. I'm way too comfortable. Stepping out of my comfort zone is a big step, and maybe a big step for everyone. Everyone should step out of their comfort zone. Take risks and don't think what everyone else thinks. Ignore the negativity and live your best life. Life is limited, and no one knows what can be taken away from you. Life should be valued and enjoyed to an extent where you don't even have to do things to make yourself happy, where you don't have to work to make yourself happy. You're just happy. One of the happiest moments of my life was driving to the sunset with my best friend. We were in a black Jeep Wrangler with no doors. The wind was vicious, but it felt so nice against our skin. I stuck my head out the roof and just felt so free. I felt so alive, like nothing was wrong. No stress, no worries, nothing. I never realized little things could be worth so much in a perfect moment. I picture that day in my head as a reminder that if I do better, I can be the one driving to the sunset. Personally, I believe the meaning of life, or to live, is to do things you're not comfortable doing. Doing something that's so not you could change your perspective on how to live in a second. Go do stuff with friends, family, etc. Don't look back and don't stress. The past doesn't exist anymore. Only you can determine your future. If your life ended tomorrow, would you be proud of what you'd left behind? That's the question I'll always ask myself. Be you, be different, and don't change for anything, because you only live once.
On March 13th, reality was put to a halt. A new rampant virus was traveling the world, taking tens of thousands of lives. COVID-19 arose as a worldwide pandemic. The United States government forced states to go into self-isolation. Schools, stores, and businesses were closed with an unannounced date of reopening. Quarantine was among us. Quarantine life was a different life. The world was changing. When you're trapped in your own little bubble with your family for months, creativity becomes a bare necessity. What will you do to stay occupied?
Yum. What you making?
Today's treat, I made a chocolate and vanilla ganache. I couldn't decide which one to make.
Oh, this is delicious. What kind of icing is it?
Stop, don't eat it. It's chocolate ganache.
Gosh, this is a tough dessert you made since the beginning of the week. You should make something more healthy. We need to have a healthy, balanced lifestyle.
Stop. Since the beginning of quarantine, I started baking a lot to pass time. I found it fun and it always had an interesting result. Recently I decided maybe I should start working out. I didn't know if I should follow a YouTube channel or if I should just come up with my own workout plan.
Juliana began to run. 3 miles every day, up and down hills, tracking her pace. She started with a 10:45 pace and ran just about 3 miles in 40 minutes. After a couple of days, she noticed a change in her mood.
You should come run with me.
You seem unusually upbeat today.
Yeah, I started running. You should come join.
Yeah, sure. I'll give it a try.
They became attached to the idea of running. They ran every day in an attempt to beat their own personal goal. Tuesday was a 9:45 pace, 38 minutes. Wednesday was a 9:08 pace, 32 minutes, until finally they reached their goal of under 30 minutes.
Chris, you should come out and run with us.
Running. Yeah, it's not really my thing.
Come on, just once.
No, I'm good. You guys have fun though.
Okay then.
Juliana and Nicholas went on their run. While running, Nicholas had an idea.
That's it. That's what people need to do. People need to find a way to keep themselves mentally occupied. This also makes great content with the benefit of being active.
What do you suggest?
Well, working out is hard, tiring, and most of the time it's the last thing people want to do.
Yeah, I'm listening.
People should be active during this time. What if we started off making our own TikTok account and a podcast that will motivate people to enjoy being active outside?
I think that's a really good idea.
And that's exactly what they did. They started posting inspirational quotes, videos, and sayings in an attempt to get people to join them on their fitness journey. After about a month, their audience took off with many people tuning in.
Wow, look at this. We already have 30,000 followers on Spotify and 50,000 followers on TikTok.
Look at this comment. Without you guys, we wouldn't have been able to get myself up this morning.
Within the next month, hundreds of thousands of people started listening to their podcast. They accumulated over 1.3 million followers on TikTok. Their accounts were even featured as #1 on YouTube for a couple of weeks. They sold thousands of CDs, and they were a very popular podcast on Spotify. By the end of the summer, their accounts were even featured on the news as the run to the sun, as there's a reason to make the most out of every day. The moral is, the sun will set, but it will rise again in the morning, and so will you. In the end, not only were people physically stronger, but mentally in a happier state.
The word live scientifically means to stay alive or keep breathing, but it can be seen from a different perspective because you can live without feeling alive and without knowing how to live. For me, living means being alive, but also knowing how to live, which means discovering what makes you happy and being on good terms with your family and friends. This is because to enjoy your life, you have to be happy with how your life is going. Since we are little, our parents help us form our own criteria about life and what we want to do with it. Living can be a very beautiful experience if you know how to live. The one thing I saw often when people start to grow and become adults is that they put their happiness in the background and do not realize that by doing this, they are wasting their entire lives. Then they will become seniors and realize that maybe they could have had a simpler life, but by taking advantage of it, enjoying laughs, smiles, hugs, things that do not cost, but are worth more than everything. In quarantine, we learned and valued living in the whole concept of the word. And now that we've returned to normalcy a little, many people have changed because they realized you have not bought living and that you need to live every second of it and make it worth it. To be honest, in my family, sometimes we've forgotten what it means to live. When we moved to the United States, we closed in on ourselves to get through the pain of being away from our family. I think this was not the way to deal with it, since my mother really struggled from that blow. She became so focused on worrying about the whole family that she did not realize that there were 4 beautiful people right there in front of her, and to live experiences together. Obviously, our lives changed. It was very different from what we were used to, but over time, she realized she had to change the way she saw things in order to live and enjoy living with what was at our present in the moment. At the same time, we formed a community. My friends became close, and they became family. I think the true meaning of life is to share it with people who add to your life, who bring out laughter, and you can enjoy beautiful experiences together. I have to emphasize that sometimes you can have moments of sadness, because what would life be without it? But you can never give in to those negative thoughts. You have to give yourself time. At the end, things will resolve or stop hurting, which means you don't always have to struggle, and things will eventually get better. As an example, if I was never taken away from my grandparents, then I would never have met my friends. In the end, I realized that I won, because I have more loved ones who will always be there for me, and I know I can always count on them. Never live just to live. Find a dream and fulfill it, and never give up.
How are you feeling today?
I'm good, I guess.
You're good, okay. And how have your anxiety levels been?
Anxiety? It's been about the usual.
What is the usual?
You know, like the normal amount.
Right, the normal amount. And what's been bothering you?
You know, it's really nothing. Maybe this was a mistake.
Listen, I know this is tough because it's our first time talking, but I want to be able to help you. And the only way I can help you is if you open up. So, let's try this again. What's been bothering you?
It's just, God, I sound so stupid.
You're not stupid. What is it?
I think I may have a stalker.
A stalker? What makes you say that?
Well, that's why I'm sort of embarrassed. There isn't anything really. I don't have any evidence. It's just a feeling. But even though it's just a feeling, it's been ruining my life.
Could you describe this feeling?
I don't know, like, you know when a cat like stares at the corner of a room for so long, it starts to convince you that something's there. You start to sort of catch glimpses out of the corner of your eye. Your subconscious has picked up on something, and your conscious brain is still trying to figure it out. Something feels off.
Interesting. And you mentioned this starting to affect your life?
Yeah, I mean, at first it started small. I would know there was no one around and still feel like there was someone there, or I'd be alone and search for someone hiding in plain sight around me.
Could you give me some examples?
Like, I'll walk into an empty public restroom and I'll think that there's someone there, or I'll get on the subway and I'll search the faces of the other people, wondering if it could be one of them.
Do large groups of people make you nervous?
Yeah, I actually started to avoid them. If you don't know who it could be, and I even started changing the way I dress. I cover up more, I hide my face more. Who knows who could be looking, you know?
Have your family or your friends said anything about these changes?
I mean, of course they noticed. My friends ask me why I cover my face, why I won't go out to parties with them anymore.
And are you nervous to get close to people?
I mean, kind of. Every time I try to explain this to someone, they just don't get it. Worse, they don't seem to care.
And this upsets you?
Yeah, it baffles me how they don't care. They can call me paranoid, but at least I know. I'm aware. I'm aware that I have a stalker. You know, they can call me whatever they want. I'm just trying to keep myself safe.
Let's say you did have a stalker. Why do you think they're stalking you? An unhealthy obsession, an enemy wanting to freak you out?
No, I think they may want to kill me.
Kill you?
Yeah, and don't you see? If they want to kill me, it puts my whole family at risk. And my mom, my dad, my little sister, even my grandma, she just moved in last week.
How did your grandma moving in make you feel?
God, it freaked me out. I begged my parents not to let her move. I explained it was too risky, but they just wouldn't listen. I'm worried the most about her. I get so scared just thinking about what could happen if this sicko got their hands on her.
And this sicko, who do you think it could be?
Honestly, anyone. I don't know what they look like. I don't know why they chose me. I know that they are always a threat, no matter what. And I always have to be on top of my game. And maybe if I'm always conscious and I'm always following these rules, I can keep myself safe.
Now, have you considered the possibility that this is all in your head, that you're just simply paranoid?
I mean, of course.
But then there's really no use in entertaining your overly active imagination.
You don't believe me. Of course, no one believes me.
I think it's dangerous for me to play a role in your paranoid fantasy. I want to help you, I really do. And the first step in helping you is dismissing that this could be real.
But I can't help it. I'm scared.
Have you ever considered prescription medication?
No.
I think maybe you should. It would help you be less paranoid all the time. You could start having a normal life again. You could party with your friends, start wearing what you like.
But that's exactly what I'm trying to avoid. I need to always be ready, always conscious, always aware. I don't want to take some stupid medication that's going to make me forget that.
You need to calm down.
No! I'm so scared all the time, and my parents won't listen to me, which is why they made me talk to you, and I'm so nervous about my grandma, and I don't want to take some pills that are going to make me forget that fear.
Your grandma Susan's going to be just fine. You have no need to be frightened. This is all in your head.
But what if she's not? What if the second I let my guard down, this stalker seizes the opportunity and but I didn't tell you my grandma's name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your parents must have mentioned her to me. Didn't mean to scare you.
When would they have mentioned her by name?
When I met them last night.
You met them? Like, in person?
Yes, to discuss your condition. I like to meet with them, parents, before I speak with the patient.
Listen, why would you? Where was it? They said that they found you. What was this, something in the mail, an advertisement? That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't it?
No, this office is 20 minutes from my house. If you were going door to door with advertisements, you would have brought up quite a bill in ink and paper by the time that you got to my house. So, how did you really find me?
You gotta relax. You're being too paranoid.
And you're not answering my questions, Scott. You seemed so normal, so average, a hero, really, someone who's gonna hear out my side of the story. God, how could I have been so stupid?
You're delusional. I told you, the first step...
Drop the act! Is this how you get them? You stalk them for weeks, and then you pose as a therapist, someone who will listen to their side of the story. That's sick. Oh my God, you were with my parents. You could have... How did you find me? I was so careful.
Come on, surely you know the answer to that. Isn't it clear? You've been diligent as ever, dear, but have your friends, have your family? You've kept yourself safe long enough, but have they? You said it yourself. They don't care. Dragging you along to parties, making you go to school, never listening to you. It's almost like they wanted me to catch you.
No. I was so careful. I did everything right.
No one else did. It's a shame, isn't it? I would stop with that. You can't get out. You finally let your guard down at me. You didn't even realize when I locked it.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing this?
I can't help it. It's like a compulsion. I have to. And to be perfectly honest, I'm starting to enjoy it, especially the ones like you, the smart ones. Still, no use in being smart if your friends and family don't have the same sense.
You said ones, plural. Oh my God, how many people have you killed?
Next.
What is the meaning of life? The literal meaning is to be alive or to maintain life. But in a metaphorical stance, there's many different reasons. Like some people have a job or have a family or help out in the community. But for me, a few reasons are, of course, my family and friends. I guess a lot of people have different reasons to live. I've recently been visiting my aunt and her daughter, which is my cousin, of course, and usually they're not around to hang out with her or have fun with her, so she's usually by herself. So it's very nice how I'm able to go over there. And then you also have my other aunt, which is the same thing. She has a little daughter, and she's 10, but she has autism. So it's nice that I'm able to hang out there and talk to her because she's not very verbal a lot. And then you also have, of course, going out with my family and going over my grandmother's, although recently I haven't really been able to go over much because of the times. I love being able to just help back with my parents because usually they're doing a lot for me, so it's good to do whatever I can to help around the house. You know, I really do love helping younger kids especially. That's why when I go to college, I want to specialize in being a teacher or an art teacher because that's one of my passions, maybe even a therapist. I think it's just very good to be able to touch on these kids when they're at a young age, being able to teach them about my passion, which is art, or be able to help them. Then you finally have being able to go over to New Jersey with my parents and my family. I'm not really able to see them all that much, so when we go on this trip, it's very loving because I'm able to see them for like once a year. These are my 3 passions in life. I've also been able to hang out with my friends a lot, especially during these times, although not really in person, mostly FaceTiming. Especially this one friend, we've had a lot of one-to-one time, which may be a little awkward at first, but recently we've been able to come together and hang out a lot more. Just crazy to see that. Concluding, there's many different passions for everybody in life, but these are my main 3, and I hope I can have a bigger purpose in life.
Would you like some?
No thanks.
You sure? This could go long. Who knows?
Yeah, again, thanks. But no thanks.
Okie dokie then. That's filtered. Probably sterilized. Good stuff. Chilled too, but not too cold. Goes down easy. You sure? It's no trouble.
Look, buddy, listen. I think we're both here for the same thing. And though I wouldn't mind some hydration, in theory, I'm trying to maintain my internal homeostasis for this thing that's about to happen. So again, thanks, but no thanks.
Oh sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I totally hear you. From one virus to another. I mean, I don't know exactly why you're here for sure, but I guess you could say we're trying for the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So, how long have you been around?
Look, I don't know. It's been a few months. I've had mainly surface placements everywhere I've been. I've been overseas way more times than I can count. All my friends just seem to find a spot to fit in and I never see them again. And now there's this new vaccine out there that's going to make things difficult for me. For any of us, really. I just can't seem to connect. So, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to try and take a look at this code. I'm going to try and comprehend it because it is very confusing. And I suggest you take a look at it too. Like I said, it's very confusing.
Wow, that's tough. Jeez. I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, you seem pretty confident. What's your story?
Yuck, this is confusing code. You're right. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said What's your story?
Oh, well, I guess you could say I'm fairly new to this. I figured out this new technique, actually, that avoids... you know, on second thought, I probably shouldn't be sharing too much about this with you just yet.
I don't believe it. You're one of those new strains, aren't you? I don't believe this. I don't believe this. My last chance to leave a piece of myself behind, and I'm up against the latest and greatest mutation, kindly offering me what might have been a tainted drink that would have popped my chances the moment I took the first sip. Well, good luck, buddy, because I have my own drink.
Okay, and what might that be?
A protein shake! I've got a good friend, a cellular one, who not only helped me with the good reception around here, but also had all the right machines to make me this yummy protein. So, good luck, buddy.
Thanks.
Oh, and did I mention? The lady we're about to meet happens to be my aunt. So, I say again, So, no offense, but I think you should save your limited energy, if any, and go find a new host. Actually, on top of that, you should take you and your new little strain, fold it up real tight, and...
Excuse me? Hello. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Miss Bati. I believe you're here for the interview.
Who? Him? Me?
Yeah, you. Something seems different. Come on. You don't know how many I've had to screen today. I sure hope you're something new.
Wait, I can't do this. Ethically, I feel compelled to tell you something.
Okay, let's hear it.
This woman is about to meet with you, and she said the two of you are related.
Well. Auntie? It's me. Oh, right, yeah. See?
I do recognize you.
Yeah.
How silly of me. You know, I didn't see it at first, but you are the spitting, or should I say coughing, image of your mother. Oh man, that took the breath out of me with that one. Guards, this is Miss Bati. Could you please send 2 cells down immediately? I am so happy to see you. I'm so happy to recognize you. You know, I can imagine how far you would have gone undetected if I hadn't seen you.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. That was a close one. You know, and all the while you thought your Auntie Bati wasn't going to recognize you.
I was a little worried, yeah. Auntie, what's happening?
Guards, take her away.
No. No. Oh, what a world.
Well, at least there's one less for us to worry about now.
Yes, well, you never can be too careful these days. What with the changing threats out there? Doubts are rampant, conspiracies blossoming left and right. One never knows who to trust.
Wow, you said it. So tell me, what's a guy like you doing in a place like this?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I like to think of myself as a free-falling kind of guy, going wherever the wind takes me. I think I may have finally found a place to call my home. You know, this may be my crowning achievement.
Oh, you. Say, your face just looks so familiar. Have we met before?
Oh, no, we haven't met, but I got that familiar kind of face.
Oh, all right. Well, let me get you a drink. Are you a whiskey or vodka kind of guy?
Actually, neither, but I'll take a beer. Can you guess what kind? Corona.
Oh, you sick sense of humor. Come on in, I'll introduce you to everyone.
Washington State and Snohomish Health District officials announced the first U.S. case of a 2019 novel coronavirus.
The patient is currently in isolation.
Welcome to Paradopolis, where everything is okay, but nothing is real. Everyone from anywhere is welcome. You've got miles of land and trees to explore with your friends and family. The air is as clear as ice, and everyone is as healthy as a horse. You can high five and hug to your heart's content. And the people are just so lovely. Everyone is such a lovely neighbor. Whenever you're sad, there'll always be someone to brighten your day. They'll even make you a cookie or two.
My administration is recommending that all Americans avoid gathering in groups of more than 10 people.
Direct all individuals to shelter at their place of residence.
Ah, yes, the leaders. They care so much for each person and will always do what's best for all of them no matter what. No person is ignored and everyone is included. Everyone is embraced and no one has to worry about who they are or being included or whether or not they'll be welcome. If you want to run around the mountains, run around the mountains. No one will stop you. No one will judge you for that. And that's just one of the many beauties of Paradopolis. Here, you're beautiful. You don't have to worry about if others will deem you beautiful either. Of course, no one is perfect, but that's what's so great. Everyone works so well together, and if you need help, you'll get it. People aren't your worst enemy here. People aren't idiotic here. People won't wrong you, use you, neglect you, or be so shitty that you wish you could just leave this planet and never come back.
Millions more Americans have filed unemployment claims.
The chronic burden of medical ills is likely to make people of color, especially, less resilient to the ravages of COVID-19.
A phased and deliberate approach to reopening.
If I could just leave and find another planet with better people. Not perfect, but better. It's fascinating, isn't it? The worlds you can create with just a paper and pen. Welcome to Paradopolis, where everything is okay, but nothing is real.
There's no definite or specific answer to the meaning of life. Life is so much to take in, and so much just for it to mean a few things. I can't sum up what the meaning of life is because, well, I'm only 16, but I have some kind of idea. Overall, I think the meaning of life should be to live up to your dreams, be happy, and to leave a stamp down in the world before you leave. One of my biggest philosophies in life is just to be happy. Happiness brings out the best in you and those around you. And throughout my whole life, I've always tried to be happy and positive because living life in this way is much easier than living like others who are sad or angry or experience and observe these negative behaviors from others. And whenever everyone is happy around me, I feel like time flies because it's just a great time. And I feel like that's what living is supposed to be like. And whenever I'm with one of my buddies and they're not happy or they're not doing well, we just get weird vibes. I don't understand. It takes away from the whole experience with them. When I was 5 years old, we got a dog. We named him Ronan. The day we adopted him was one of the best days of our life. And when we took him home, we drive him home, then we let him loose in the house, it was a really surreal feeling. Me and my family were playing with him all day, and it was a really good day. Even now, Ronan keeps me happy all the time. To enjoy good health, to bring true happiness to one's family, to bring peace to all, one must first discipline and control one's mind. If a man can control his mind, he can find the way to enlightenment, and all wisdom and virtue will naturally come to him. This quote is special because it's basically saying that happiness is going to let life flow, and all of these other key things in life revolve around being happy and allowing things to flow. Another huge part in life that I believe is important is living up to your dream. I think this is huge because it's your life and you should get to choose what you want to do. And if you want to do something, you should simply go do it. I've come to the realization on this because I've grown a very strong mind not caring what others think about me. Like, I could really not care less about what they have. I'm just going to focus on myself and what I want to do with my life while also trying to help others when they need it. I don't have a story for this one, but when I do something I don't like, whether it's in school or outside of school, I don't really try that hard. I mean, it has to be something that I like and enjoy. When I find something interesting, I will dig deep and I will learn it to the best of my ability, okay? Because it's cool and it interests me. And that's exactly what I want to do when I'm older. I want to find a career that interests me. And I'm doing something I'm passionate about. Yeah. Your words control your life, your progress, your results, even your mental and physical health. You cannot talk like a failure and expect to be successful. Germany can't. There are some things you can control in life and others you can't control. One should take advantage of the things you can control, and you should get what you want. Lastly, another philosophy I like to adapt is leaving a stamp down in the world before you go. This is massive to me because when I want to grow up, I want to be successful. I want to have kids. I want to make sure that they have bright futures and all this great stuff. When I'm in my 80s, I want to look back and reflect on my life and be proud of who I was and not regret that I didn't do something with the time that I had. I want to be looked up to by others, whether it be my kids or anyone else. That has to be one of the greatest feelings ever. I can't exactly explain why, but it just is. I don't entirely understand this feeling right now because I'm so young. I'm 16. I have so much of my life ahead of me. But it's something I want to understand as time goes on. It's highly, highly important to be true to yourself and to be proud of that self before you expect others to be proud of you. I don't entirely remember who spoke this, but it resonates with me very, very deeply. This quote means you have to be proud of yourself in order for others to look up to you. Self-confidence is vital. Therefore, there are many different factors to sum up the meaning of life all in one product. Everyone's views on life are different based on experiences and obstacles that they have cleared within their life. And everyone leads a different life that sways them to believe different things. But my thoughts on the meaning of life is to be happy, to live up to your dreams, and to, well, make your mark.
My purpose is to play basketball and motivate people to do better, including myself. As a baby, I was born at 25 weeks. I wasn't supposed to live, and nobody really thought I would make it. Then about like a week after I was born, I couldn't breathe. I was the size of my hand right now. My motivation comes from my mother and what my mom had to go through. I was too underdeveloped, so I went a whole 2 months of not seeing her. And it hurt me a lot. But it also showed me how strong my mom was, and that I had to work hard and be strong, just like her. My mother taught me that no matter what life throws at you, you just gotta push through it, and I've been doing that since. Basketball came into my life around when I turned 13. I liked it because it was fun. I was always told I wasn't good, so I felt alone. I wanted to prove people wrong, and I got better every day. And I did. I worked hard and I failed thousands of times. At that age, people tend to just give up, but I didn't. I got frustrated, but I always got back up. I also had my mom play with me, and she helped me. I couldn't leave the gym till I perfected a certain move or shot anything because my mom pushes me. My dad was always busy, and I never really saw him. This next event was probably the most life-changing thing for me. It was my first year of high school. I was nervous. I had my friends, but I noticed they really weren't my friends, and so I left them. I went through the first 2 months of high school with nobody. Later, through my second month of high school, my dad left my family and started to live alone. I already never saw him, but this just made it worse. It was extremely difficult for me. It hurt me a lot along with my mom and my sister. He's an alcoholic, and the only thing he was thinking was drinking every day because nobody was there to tell him to stop. My mom got worried because towards the end of my freshman year, I was very sad, angry, and my grades were all over the place. I lost my mindset, and who I was all gone. It got to the point where on March 17th, 2018, I tried to kill myself. I told my mom and I had to go to therapy. I hated it so much, so I stopped. And of course, my mom brought me to my pastor. My mom's a Christian. She loves God. I felt like that's what I needed after I started talking to God. I put him first before anything, and my life slowly got better. I started seeing my father. I got him to get helped. I helped him through it, and we went through it together. And I had a bond with my dad. He actually came to my basketball games, so that was my motivation as well. After all the years of seeing my dad drunk and drinking daily, having to tell him what to do in order for God to listen was amazing. It showed the love he had. My dad wanted to be a better father. He told me if I keep working hard, he will too. And I have been. Then there's the best part of my life. My sophomore summer was the best. It was quarantined, but I loved it. I had my space to myself every day. I was waking up at 7, jogging till 8, going to eat at breakfast, and putting up 500 shots at 9:30. At 10, I'd ride my bike to the town park and put up 300 more shots and count how many I missed and see my improvement. Every shot I missed, I was supposed to do 5 push-ups. So I'd figure out how to do about 200 to 350 push-ups a day, and the number lowered weekly. I saw the improvement. I started getting stronger, and people saw it. People finally saw that I'm special. I talked my mom into getting back with my dad so that he can work out with me. And my parents would argue, but I'd pray with them. They saw how much I've gotten close to God. Like, nothing took off a smile off my face. That's when I wanted to tell my story and motivate people. My friend had a best friend who wanted to kill herself, so I became friends with her. She had depression, and I didn't like it. She's a beautiful, smart, caring, loving person. Her personality matched mine. It was amazing, and I helped her through it, through a rough time. I got to know her and her family, and later that summer, I actually fell in love. We both did, and now she's my girlfriend. My family loves her, and her family. In my future, I see myself as a person who wants to see others succeed in life, no matter what, because life is going to have rough times, and it's not going to be easy. But success will happen. You just gotta fail to get there, a lot. You're not going to succeed if you don't push and stay strong through the rough times.
Wasted, gone from 17. Watch me gloat about what I could win, and I'm gone from 17. Shaken, gone from 17, body shaken, a rattle underneath. Take the cold out of all my breath. With all that is left, and I'm gone from 17. Swallowed my time, listen to it whine, polished and clean, goodbye to 17. Swallowed my time, listen to it whine, polished and clean, goodbye to 17, and goodbye to 17.
The meaning of life to me is having new experiences and making memories, and to not dwell on things too long because we only have so much time. When I give advice to my friends about life and just things, I tell them that they need to remember that we all have a path that we're taking, and just because there's a rock in your way doesn't mean your life is over. I think people second guess life because people have a problem that they think they don't have a solution to. They feel trapped, but that's not the case. We were all put here for a reason. We are here to do things in our life, to accomplish things, but there will be tough times, and it's okay to feel sad, but don't stay that way. I'm in high school right now, and I don't really care about the drama there is, and if I'm a part of it, I just try to get over it, because you aren't gonna have these people in your future. I don't hold grudges, and I forgive people, because there isn't a reason to have enemies. We have such a limited time that we shouldn't waste it and let it go down the drain just because we have one issue or because some people decided to leave your life. People decide to live their lives many different ways. Some people decide to take many risks, others decide to just go with the flow. Some just waste time. Life to me is making the best out of it. I want to leave great accomplishments behind. I want to grow up and be something I'm proud of. There are so many things to do in this world. Life should be having good and bad times. I want to travel the world and see new cultures and experience different things I thought I would never experience. Life is a hard thing to define. My friends usually tell me that I shouldn't care so much about things because I'm hurting myself by feeling sad and angry. I'm a person who cares so much for everybody, and I try to give everyone good advice so they can keep pushing. and keep moving forward. The entire quarantine, people came to me for help, and I helped them because that's just the type of person I am. The moment the quarantine happened, I went through a really bad breakup, and I wasn't happy. And I tried to contact friends, and they were nowhere to be found. I was just a whole sad mess for about 3 months. I decided no more. I wanted to work on myself, so I started exercising, losing weight, and going out on my bike. And you know what? I rose above it. I started feeling so much better, and all I did was work on myself, and I'm happy. Life has a bunch of twists and turns, but in those twists and turns, you'll find your happiness. You just gotta be strong and know that there's always an upside.
Wasted, gone from 17. Time is wasted, I feel it in my feet. Watch me float out of all my skin. Watch me glow about what I could win. And I'm gone from 17. Shaken, gone from 17. Body shaken, a rattle underneath. Take the cold out of all my breath. With all that is left, and I'm gone from 17. Swallowed my time, listen to it whine, polished and clean. Goodbye to 17.